Warning, this podcast contains mature content, including scenes or descriptions of graphic violence, sexuality, and psychological trauma. Listener discretion is advised.
The Rancor's Brothel presents Impossible Landscapes. A Delta Green campaign by Dennis Detweiler.
So, your newfound sort of mafioso friend Frankie kind of gets tossed into the middle of the room by a very large, angry man, who I believe at this point you know his name is Mr. Ed. Like I said, he has some sort of an incredibly impressive leaded nightstick or bat of some sort that appears to have a bit of Frankie's brain matter on it. I don't have the sheets pulled up. Gideon or... It's Adrian, right?
Yes.
Gideon or Adrian, what are your dex scores?
By 5 or?
Either one. Just
12.
It's a 14, 70 by 5.
Okay. You could theoretically react first, but given your score, Adrian, I would presume that first aid is on your mind.
Yeah.
If you sort of go over and take a knee and put a hand on, you can feel no pulse. You can feel no breathing. I mean, maybe he could be resuscitated, but you kind of doubt it.
I mean, I'll start compressions and try.
Even just moving to approach, you hear a low growl from the very big, angry man holding the bloody bat.
Is he dressed like us or dressed like more like an orderly?
He is dressed more like an orderly.
Okay.
A little shabbier, probably.
Mm-hmm.
A little dirty, per se. Yes, it is a baseball bat. And Adrian, as you sort of kneel over and just kind of feel him a little bit, you can see the bat sort of coming up and pointing in your general direction.
I mean, if I feel threatened, I'll just back off.
Yes, you feel very threatened by this large man.
Are you threatening me?
I pull my shirt over my head, tell them that I need TP for my bunghole.
He turns and starts to walk away.
Supposed to be crazy.
And then you see Dr. Friend poke his head back around the hall. He's like, Ed, we cannot leave this man like this, please. And then he toddles back off down the hallway, and Ed sort of bends down. Everybody kind of backs up, and he grabs him by the collar and picks up the body, which very puppet-like and limp, and as if every bone is broken in his body. His head sort of hangs at a very awkward angle off of his neck, and he sort of just, like a sack of potatoes, just picks him up strictly by the collar and the back of the neck and just carries him out of the room.
Well, at least we've gotten rid of the dead weight.
Little trail of droplets of blood leading out the room.
By the way, we killed Daniel in real life. That's why he's not here. Just kidding. Am I?
You know, Langley already listens to this podcast. We don't need IMPD on us as well. The Stadies. We'd like to thank the Illinois State Police Force for joining us here tonight.
I'm gonna take. So I have like a gown on.
Yeah, no, everybody's
Okay.
sort of in generic. It's not even necessarily a gown. It's almost more like a what do you call them?
It's like a jumpsuit, right? It's like a white shirt, white pants type thing.
No, it's like what nurses wear.
Scrubs?
Yeah,
Scrubs.
it's more scrub-like.
Okay.
It's not like your ass is hanging out gown. It's more scrubs. Some folks are wearing more of a nightgown and don't appear to be like a longer nightgown and don't appear to be wearing pants or maybe wearing shorts. But you're wearing more of like a longish nightgown down to like maybe the tops of your thighs, and then sort of a generic-y sweatpant or scrub type
Do
material.
they have pockets?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably 2 generic sweatpant type pockets.
I'm
One on
gonna
each hip.
kneel next to the puddle of blood.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna dip a finger in it.
Okay.
Just gonna smear it so it look like blood.
Yeah, I believe you have a
Can
skill in
smell
first aid. Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
blood.
I'm gonna turn out my pocket and just dab a little bit on it, kind of like soak the end of the inside of my pocket.
Sure.
And then fold it back in.
Okay. You all see this happen. You are sort of like in this common room that you've seen many times before. There's sort of a TV set off to the side, a couple of couches and chairs. There are a number of patients sort of milling about, just hanging out.
I'll go back over to my compatriots.
What's with the blood?
What's with any of this?
I don't know.
Well, we took a shot in the dark to see what happens at night, and now we kind of got f***ed. Here we are.
Who are these people?
Well, that was Ed over there with the big baseball bat.
He carries a big stick. Speak softly.
I get it. I get it.
Can see why he gets away with having a pencil in his room now.
Different Ed.
Is it?
Yes.
Is that a different Ed? Am I crazy?
I mean, they don't look anything alike.
His name's Ed.
His name is Ed.
Man, that super not common name of Ed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have
I understood
pictures-
that.
you have
I understood that to be the same Ed. That's just me. I'm reading it wrong, or
You have the pictures if you'd like to compare the faces of the individuals that you're seeing.
Ed Miller West or Wist
Yeah.
Wist.
versus
Yeah.
Mr. Ed.
Yeah, I put him in there as
there are 2
Mr.
Eds.
Ed.
That's still weird.
If it was John, would it be weird?
The fact
Yeah.
that there are 2 people named Ed is the weird
It doesn't
thing to you?
happen. Not in games.
So are you like in character? Are you
No,
just
like
kind of
literally this entire time I thought it was the same Ed. My bad.
But like, are you just kind of nonchalantly like, oh, of course, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, well yeah.
That's Ed. Fuck him.
And I'll look over to you, Troy.
Flynn goes, all right, Lucas doesn't want to play. Troy, would you like to play? Would you like to role play?
I mean, obviously something's weird. Like, you didn't expect some weird? Hasn't it kind of been weird from Jump Street for us?
The hallways are longer than
Or at
they're
least
supposed to
since
be.
the play? Whatever the that was?
So you acknowledge.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously we're not in the Dorchester House that we expected to be in.
Okay.
Truth. I went down this hallway over here, and it kind of keeps going, and I don't think it's supposed to do that.
No, probably not.
It has some weird twists and turns.
I'm just
it's very
making,
dark.
I'm making sure that this is real, and I just wanted to see where you guys were.
I pinch you.
Thanks.
I mean, if it hurts, it's not a dream, right? Isn't that how that?
I don't know. I felt pain in dreams before.
Well, it's weird, but okay.
I'll look around. Anyone catching my eye? Anyone specifically like noticing us or paying us particular attention?
Alertness roll.
Critical failure. I go blind.
As you kind of look around, you see an older, dark-haired woman who looks kind of familiar. She's sitting in front of the TV, staring at it. It is not on. It's that completely gray-black blankness of like a tube TV, and she's just staring at it. She appears to be making no motion to turn it on. There's a tall, thin man with shaggy hair who is staring out the window. You see a shorter woman with sort of wild blonde hair who is working on some paper sculptures of some sort, massive paper sculptures. She's like, if this is origami or something, she's making a piece of origami that is going to be several feet long. You see a man of average build, close cropped hair, appears to be sort of staring into the middle of the room, and then almost like clockwork, every few seconds, you see him back over his shoulder down the hall, as if he keeps looking to see if someone is behind him.
The way that Mr. Ed went, or
A different hallway.
okay?
If we consider conceptually in this clearly non-Euclidean space, the sort of the room is the centralist point.
Mm-hmm.
They moved closer to center of the building, where like the administrative stuff was before, whereas he's looking down the hallway where before you were looking down the hall and then there were rooms.
Okay.
People who have not gone blind, you also see that there is a very old man who's staring directly at you. Ancient. Wrinkles have wrinkles. Face is shriveled. Appear to have like a dumbfounded smile on his face. You're not sure if he's actually staring at you or just staring. You know, it's kind of a glazed over, just out into the world.
I like push the guys to like take a step like one direction to see if he like follows our movement.
Hey, what are you doing?
Like just step to the side for a minute.
I'll step to the side.
Does his gaze follow us?
There's kind of a pause, and like if you spread out a little bit, there's kind of a pause, and then like an uncomfortable amount of time later, like usually it would be instantaneous if someone was like watching you. There's like a beat, like I don't know, 7-8 seconds, and then the head kind of turns one way and stares at one of you that moved away. And then there's like a few beats, and then it stares at the other one. And then it kind of looks like he's looking at the floor again, then kind of brings his gaze up. But by now, it took him like 45 seconds at least to kind of take in the fact that you've all moved around. You're not even sure that the eyes are focused. He might be blind. Like, you're not sure. Like, it's definitely not like sharp eye-to-eye human contact. It's glazed over look.
I mean, by 40 seconds, I'm already at the window with that guy who's looking out the window.
Oh, yeah?
And I'll sidle up to him and say, hey, what do you see?
The tower's over there. They're the old industrial district, you know. It's to the northwest of the lake, I think. Yeah, it's been a while. So
I mean, God, I don't want to lose sanity. Then why did I come over here?
Why do you
Wait a minute. Why do I play the? I'm gonna think industrial district. That I mean, does that ring a bell in terms of Dorchester House?
no, not at all. I mean,
history?
it was no.
Okay. Well, he is mad. I'll look out the window.
You can kind of see a nighttime skyline. Nothing at all to what you saw driving up to this place at all. The buildings outside look to be very odd in terms of their construction. They're not modern architecture. They're not even what you would consider American architecture. They're stylistically very different. They appear to have spires. Definitely something older.
So, like, do I get a sense of like?
At no point has he really acknowledged your presence either. Like, he spoke to you, but he never turned away from looking out the window.
Does the inside of where we're at, does it actually look like the Dorchester house? Like, as far as like the walls are the same, the molding, if there was, the same. Like, does it look like the same place?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, like, you've got fluorescent lighting. It's kind of bzz, 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 flickering. And
But not like a weird out of time version, kind of like we saw through the water in the
No.
the hotel room. Okay,
Correct.
That's a good question. So it kind of does it remind me of like Arab, Ottoman, like that style?
Yeah, no, very, very much more in that grain.
Okay.
Alertness roll -20, Flynn.
-20.
Nope.
You're not, again, you're seeing shapes, but it's very hard to pick anything out. They're you've never experienced anything in your life because nothing is lit. You're staring out in the dead of night. There is no moon. You're occasionally getting like globes of light in the distance, but they're not. You see a street light, you know a street light. You see it reflect up into the sky, off the ground or off buildings. None of the light here feels like what you would expect looking out at the night
But
sky.
I can still make out a skyline.
Kind. I mean, it's real hard.
So there's a source of light somewhere, but it's not coming from where I would expect it to come from.
It's also not consistent.
Okay.
You're seeing little flashes maybe of lightning maybe, but they're not all over. It's sort of like spots. It's like there's a flash of light, but it's not like lightning that covers the sky. It's little pips in the distance.
I'll look back at my compatriots and motion them over.
Is there anything that you folks would like to do?
Well, I was going to start walking towards the ancient one who was staring at us. So I was going to like kind of walk in a not linear path, just playfully kind of like zigzagging, I guess, just to see if he like is following my movements.
Sort of. I mean, but it's kind of, it's not like his head's kind of lolling.
Yeah.
And then kind of lolls back. Hard to say. But he does, as you get closer, he does sort of like, he does sort of start to look at you, and you can see his eyes kind of squint a little bit to see. You could see they're strained.
Yeah.
There's creases in his forehead, and you can see the blood vessels like tightening. What are you doing, Adrian?
I'm just observing everyone else. Like, I'm looking for people that might match descriptions of the people that we were kind of following. We were told that, air quote, they come back at night. Kind of hoping they do.
Okay.
So the four.
Not our original characters, but the characters we were trying to figure out.
Gotcha. Okay. You can keep a lookout for that. Flynn, Gideon sort of turns around to wave at his compatriots, and they seem to be doing their own thing.
Useless. I'll turn to the guy. What's the window made out of?
It's probably, I mean, it's going to be sealed on the outside. I would assume that it's some sort of like non-breaking plastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely not a glass window.
Okay.
And it's got some sort of caging on the outside. So even if you did manage to break it,
is there a way to? Does it look like there's a way to open it? Like
it does not look like it opens. I mean,
like not even a crack to ventilate, or
no, probably not.
Okay. I'll
He sort of points. The royal court is just that way. Have you ever been?
No. Is that where the king is?
I mean, makes sense for a king to be at court, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Where'd you hear about the king?
Oh, I've explored the area before.
You've been out of these walls? You've been...
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you leave?
You just gotta know where to walk.
And you know?
Mm-hmm.
Would you show me?
He sort of turns his head for the first time to look at you. Do you want to go?
I want to be out of these walls. I want to be out of here.
You're not ready. And he turns and stares back out the window again. At
Probably
which point, the old man in front of Troy, you see his eyes suddenly like pop open as he like you see him now. He is focused in on you, and Gideon and Adrian, you suddenly start hearing screaming.
Oh God.
And this guy like throws himself almost out of the chair he's sitting in. It's probably a wheelchair. Like an old style wooden wheelchair. That seems very appropriate. The chair suddenly slides back as he lurches out to grab a hold of you. Dex by 5.
Yes. Was that a... Nope. Okay. Yeah, just a success.
You happen to catch him because he definitely doesn't have the mobility to be doing what he's doing, because the chair suddenly kicks back and goes rolling against, and you're kind of wrap your arms around him to hold him up, because otherwise he would have just face planted, and he is like slapping you emphatically, and he's just making completely nonsensical noises. They're very guttural, very, very throat, just
Am I
and he's just
near
kinda hitting you.
like any other seating, like a chair or
Yeah,
couch or
there are
anything?
chairs and other things nearby.
I will try to guide him to there to sit him
He's
down.
skin and bones. I mean, as long as your strength is in double digits, like you're gonna have no problem moving him.
Okay.
You suddenly see a bunch of people, sort of pop up and sort of look around and what's going on? And the whole time he's just staring at you and kind of tapping you and kind of nodding his head just up and down.
Is he like smiling like you're doing, or
Kind of, yeah. But you get the sense he's like patting his throat and his chest, and then he's like tapping you and and you're able to guide him over the couch, but he does not want to let go of you. Just like
no? I'd sit down next to him.
yeah, no, he's got a hold of you. Absolutely.
Do you know me?
And he just keeps making noises. None of them appear to be nothing appears to be. At no point are you easily able to understand what the individual is trying to communicate. He's sort of and it's almost it's very guttural. It's very, don't want to use the word autonomic. It's not language. It's just noises. You see another man kind of walk into the room that you haven't seen before. You see probably a man younger than the man who's in your arms. I'd say maybe in his 60s, sort of wizened, curling hair that's definitely thinning. It's definitely more gray and white than it is dark, but it is still slightly dark. Sort of short of stature, but he comes walking up. He's like, it's okay, okay, and he starts patting his back. It's okay, it's okay. Shh, it's okay. I've never seen sunshine like this before.
His name is Sunshine?
To be honest, we don't know his name. We don't.
How do you not know his name?
He can't tell us. He's mute.
He just walked through the door one day and you guys accepted him?
Something like that. Some of us are here of our own volition. That's kind of how these places work.
Huh. Yeah.
And this whole time he stopped making noises, but he's kind of just keeps tapping you on the arm. He doesn't normally act like this. It's interesting. Well, you are new people. And he looks around. My name is Leland.
Hello, Leland. I'm Reg.
Nice to meet you, Reg. Welcome.
Thanks. What brings you here?
You've met town?
I did actually.
Oh.
It's a long story, not one worth sharing.
Fair enough. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to tell me, but he seems to want to tell me something, but
I don't have any good ideas for you, unfortunately. At this point, he's sort of calmed down, but he is just like, as tight as you feel two old hands can be are gripped onto your forearm and is just staring at Reg.
know where we can find some paper and writing utensil?
Sure.
I mean, have you tried that before with Old Sunshine here?
And you see him, personally, no, but again, I've never seen him act like this. Cloris, can we have some paper? And the woman who is like working intently on this sculpture and folding things, you see her, she's got just reams of paper laying around. She just kind of pushes a whole bunch of paper off the table she's working on in the general direction, and some of it scatters. He kind of walks over and picks it up. Thanks. You see that he's wearing sort of a house coat over his garb, and sort of pulls out an old style ballpoint pen. Would you like to give it to him?
Sure. I'll take the pen and
Very old pen.
I will try to put it in his hand on the paper and see if he will write anything.
He kind of looks at you and looks at the pen and grabs it, and you can see it's a bit like a toddler. He's trying to grip it, but he can't. But you see him, he's kind of putting the paper down and his hands are shaking, and you see him start to make marks, and he's like looking at you like, yeah, right? Yeah. And it's just like a 2-year-old's drawing. It's just marks all over the paper, and he just keeps nodding at you like, you getting this? Look.
At least you didn't get stabbed.
Well, sure.
Hit by 5, Troy?
Yeah. All right. Yes.
He seems very familiar to you. You don't know if, obviously you didn't physically go before. You don't know if this patient was a patient that the previous 4 encountered or that you've seen before or heard about, but something about him seems very familiar.
I'll kind of just study his face and see if just looking at him jogs my memory. Does he maybe look like somebody, a relative of somebody maybe? Could he be?
Could be. As you kind of stare at him and he kind of has you put your hands on his face and kind of move them around, and he kind of smiles a dopey smile and just kind of keeps nodding.
And the marks he's making on the paper literally are just nonsensical lines.
Yeah, you try and follow the movement of his hand. You try and nothing makes. It's kind of sad, really. None of it makes any sense. But he is so excited.
So I'll try to grab his hand and put my other hand on his shoulder and just try to say, ease, calm down. If you want to try to tell me something, let's take this slow. Try to write it slowly on this paper here. And see if I can get him to soothe him, calm down, or anything like that.
Okay. You can there's plenty of paper laying on the floor now, so you can pick up another sheet and you try and do that. I was going to go to Lucas, but Lucas went upstairs. Gideon.
Damn, Lucas.
Having been rejected by this man who's staring at nothing, I will, obviously notice that Reginald is being accosted. I'll just kind of go over there and just kind of watch.
He likes to watch.
I do like to watch.
Gideon can see that all play out. You do see at some point during the screaming that Mr. Ed walks by, but considering there's no more screaming, it just seems like he turns and walks down one of the other hallways.
Okay. Down away from the administrative area.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
He seems to be, for lack of a better word, patrolling.
Okay. I'll turn to Leland.
Hello.
Hi, Leland.
He puts out a hand.
I'll shake his hand.
Firm handshake.
Yeah. We're looking for 4 people who we think are here, and I'll give them a kind of description of them.
Okay.
One was in a wheelchair.
Okay. Can't say that it rings a bell, but if you haven't noticed, it's a bit of a unique place.
Yeah.
Are you giving just a description, or are you giving names?
I'd give names. Kim or something like that. She's in a wheelchair. I don't know if I still have that handout.
Pedro, Agia, Adam, Lakokuk.
No, I'm sorry. Those names don't mean anything to me. But I've been here a long time, so.
What about Abigail?
Well, I've heard stories of Abigail. I don't know that she's ever been here, but I've heard it.
What have you heard?
Just that she's, out there.
Where's he point?
Sort of in general towards the window.
Okay.
But he could have also been indicating down the hall. It was a very grandiose sweep of an arm.
Does anyone here really like to talk about Abigail or tend to tell stories more than others?
People come and go. People that knew her, I'm sure. No one here. Most of these folks are pretty regular. We've all been here for a long time, so.
I'll say, hey, Reginald, can I see that pen and paper?
Yeah, I will try to gently take the pen away from Sunshine. And...
Oh yeah, Sunshine gives it up. He's sort of, you can tell he's having trouble holding himself up on this couch. He's exhausted himself. He can barely keep himself up. He's gonna have to be propped up or held or something else. Like he's very decrepit.
I'll flip to the backside and write, can you read this? Circle, yes, no. Show it to him, hand him the pen.
He looks at it, and you see him kind of look at you in the eyes, and then he grabs the pen, and like you see sheer force of will, he like puts it right between the two words, and then like scribbles back and forth over both of them. And then he like stares at you as if he has provided a quadratic equation.
That's all I needed to know, Sunshine. Thank you. I hate this place.
Had hot dogs for dinner and it's not working out. What I miss?
I cracked the code of Sunshine. He can both read and not read it. Maybe.
Seems accurate.
What would you like to do, Lucas?
Since we haven't been in the Dorchester in a long time, was their library just like open? Or did you have to ask for books? Are they laying around?
Was it mostly in Dallin's office?
Yeah, I mean, Dallin had like all kinds of psychological texts, if that's what you're talking about. I don't think that there was a library per se. They probably have books laying around.
Well, I mean, you said they had access. The residents had access to books.
Yeah, there are books.
That's what I'm curious about. I'm curious to see what books are in this version of the reality.
Okay. You can go take a look at some books.
That's what I'm going to do. See if there's anything
Guessing there's
weird.
one title in particular.
That's kind of what I'm wondering, if it's here.
You can walk over there. We'll say next to the TV, there's probably a shelf of books or something. You can start looking through them.
Okay.
Various texts on the spines, kind of like what you would expect. Some very childish books, like some Dr. Seuss stuff. Some very simple, boring stuff. Some Danielle Steele novels, maybe.
Okay.
Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, perhaps.
If I'm not finding anything like out of the ordinary, or ideally what I'm looking for, I want to walk toward the room that in our reality had the blood painted on the wall.
Okay.
And see who's staying there, if anyone.
Sure, you can kind of walk in a direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, ideally I should know where that room is, whether or not it's there now.
So you start walking in a direction.
Yes.
That you think will lead you. You start walking. The rooms sort of twist and turn in ways you don't expect. The hallway does. You're never quite finding the room that you think that you should find.
Okay.
How far do you want to walk? Because you walk like...
Well, I should know where this room is. I'm just not finding it.
Correct. They don't...
Because the hallway keeps going.
The hallway doesn't go the way that it should. Like, hallway should go down 20 feet, turn to the right, and then it's on your left.
Correct.
The hallway goes down 20 feet, and then you turn, and, like, the hallway immediately jags back to the right. But that doesn't make sense, because you just...
Yeah.
You just walked this way, but now it's going back that way, but there was a wall there, so how does that...
Then I'll try to make my way back if I can remember how to get there.
Okay. You turn around and start walking back the way you came. And you hear kind of, make me an alertness roll. We'll let the dice decide what you hear.
The dice. My alertness is good, though. That is an 5, sir.
You hear some buzzing.
Buzzing like electronic? Buzzing like bees?
More of the bees or fly variety.
I will head that direction.
You kind of take another turn at a hallway where it tees to the right, where you feel like maybe you should have gone to the left to go back where you came from. And you can see little beetles kind of crawling on a window, kind of like they're trying to get back outside. They appear to be like sort of flying beetles.
Like those Japanese garden beetles that we get here in Indiana?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Good-sized beetles, maybe the size of a quarter.
Like a swarm of them, though.
No, I mean, it's not a bunch.
Okay.
A dozen. Maybe less.
Nothing else in the room.
You're kind of in the hallway.
Okay,
This is on an exterior
Is
window.
it near a room?
There's probably a room nearby, yeah.
Is that door open?
No.
Is it unlocked?
If you try it, yes, it is unlocked.
I will open it slowly.
Okay.
Peek in.
Appears to be a bed. It's a room like you've seen in the sanatorium.
Are there? I don't know what. Maybe they're not. Are these rooms like only labeled by like numbers and or letters? They don't have like patient names on them.
Yeah, there's nothing on the doors.
Okay.
There aren't even numbers or letters. They're just
Beatles.
doors.
It's the first reference we've had to Beatles, right?
I think so.
Wasn't there something about bees? Was there not?
I mean, Candyman, but that's a different game.
I'm talking in this reality.
The new one looks pretty badass, actually. I don't know. I don't remember anything about bees either.
You hear a soft voice say, "Oh, you found some. You're very lucky. I should keep you around as my good luck charm."
I turn around and find who?
An incredibly attractive young black woman. You'd say late 20s, early 30s. She's in a patient's gown as well, but clearly beautiful makeup work, and her hair is excellently coiffed.
And you are?
Deborah Carver. And she sort of extends a very soft hand with manicured nails out to you.
I do one of those awkward handshakes where you kind of grab the end of the fingers, and you're like, "Damn it, why did I do that?"
A proper gentleman, I see.
Sorry, nervous.
Oh, well,
Not every day you get snuck up on by a beautiful woman.
your lucky day. And I've been looking for these for quite some time.
What's with the Beatles?
The gold bugs?
Gold bugs? Are they actually golden in color? I didn't ask that. I should have asked what color they were.
They're sort of a shimmery gold.
Are they
Like Japanese beetles?
Kind of.
That was my first question, yeah. They're more like a green, I thought. A shimmery green.
Yeah.
Iridescent almost. Are they like your pets or worth money or something?
Well, they have their uses.
What kind of uses?
Just because you're such a gentleman. I can show you if you like.
If it involves me eating beetles, I'm not in.
Tough luck then. You don't have to eat them. That's just the easiest way to do it.
Are they hallucinogenic? I ask her, not you.
How long have you been here?
Oh, I look at my arm, freckle past a hair.
Back to you two.
I imagine they didn't let me wear a watch.
I'll toss the paper on Reginald's lap and say, I don't know. Where's Adrian?
Probably gone the way of the dodo.
The way of the Frankie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh. It's fair. He was growing on me though.
It's very nice of you to attempt to talk to Sunshine. At this point, you could see he's almost like he's relaxed the grip on you, and he's kind of like going into a bit of a stupor. He's kind of pulling his arms into his chest and kind of just laying down on the couch.
So I'll ask Leland. So you said you've never seen him ever act like this, or rarely act like this?
No, never. It's very unusual. He's a very frail old man. Been here a long time. As long as I have.
Does he seem to notice people in different ways, or is he usually just kind of detached?
He's pretty detached.
Okay.
How long have you been here?
Well, since 1952,
And
give or take.
the date today is?
I stopped counting around about 1980, if I'm honest.
If you had to guess, like, could you?
I no clue.
How old does he look?
60s.
Wait, which guy? Sunshine or the other guy?
Leland. Yeah.
Leland probably looks to be in his maybe late 40s if he's rough, but you would say probably closer mid-late 50s, even early 60s.
You said you came here of your own volition?
Yeah.
What made you decide to come here?
I started seeing things.
Such as?
Well, as I told your friend, Reg, it's a bit of a long story, and I don't know that you really want to know.
Well, now that you say it that way,
I'm kind of chomping at the bit.
kind of do.
Honestly.
I mean, if you want to like walk away from the crowd, if you're that
no,
apprehensive.
there are everyone here has seen things. But
Yeah, you could say that.
how did you two get here?
Through the front door.
Well, fair enough. Excuse me. Let me walk that back a little bit. What are you doing here, or why are you here? Usually, folks don't show up here entirely by accident. It's a bit unusual. They're usually looking for, well, again, he kind of makes a giant gesture across as if it's all very obvious and in front of your face. It's this. I'm assuming you didn't stumble in here. Clearly you know something.
Well,
Unless you're incredibly unlucky.
were sent here to find some missing patients, the ones that he asked you about. And then all of a sudden we're dressed as patients.
I love being an investigator back in the day. It's quite nice. Solve problems. Who sent you?
Winston? Did he send us? Isn't that what some dumbass here decided to throw out there?
Wait, what?
Isn't that right, Winston?
Winston?
I mean, you guys are here for any myriad of reasons.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
decide what you want to say.
Well, no, I'm legitimately trying to ask. Wasn't it Winston that's supposed to be our point of contact? Like, isn't he?
I think so. Yes.
The voice on the phone told you to investigate the house.
But that's
No, yes, I know that, but our initial.
Yes, Winston originally
Right.
sent you.
we
Yeah.
are to report back to Winston. In fact, was maybe we're past due? I don't.
Yeah, you're probably.
But
past
that's
due
the
at this
name.
point.
That's the name I want to give. Is
Oh.
Yeah.
is Winston?
Winston. Sounds very official and non-committal.
Very much.
Huh.
You said you came here in 52.
Yes.
How old were you when you came here?
That I might actually be able to answer.
Because if he's 60, and it's
I wanna
2015.
know what he's drinking.
Yeah, he'd have had to have been 3 if he was born.
I was born, if you must know, I feel like I look very good for my age. I was born September 1st, 29.
And you're about.
I feel like that's probably a stand for helplessness.
Happy late birthday.
Thanks. It's September again.
What were you? You said you missed being an investigator. What were you investigating right before you came here?
Again, he kind of just waves.
Did you find it?
No.
You were investigating the Dorchester, or did you have something
I mean,
you don't remember?
no, I remember quite a lot actually. But no, the Dorchester is kind of an unfamiliar term to me. But this sort of psychiatric institution, yes, I was here.
What do you know this institution to be called?
Oh God, you're gonna make me look something up again, aren't you, Troy?
Yep.
I may have to actually come back to that answer because some of the stuff that I have is conflicting.
Damn it, Detweiler. Tweet
Eh.
him.
It's almost another tweetable moment. Let me read this one more time. Otherwise, I think I'm going to go with that. Okay. I think the problem is I'm making an assumption with a word he's using in here. Oh, better find that in here too. That's probably where my mistake was made. Okay, yeah. No, I got it now. This is, well, it was, but not anymore. This is Bellevue.
Does that ring a bell at all?
View?
Hey.
It's in New York, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to confirm what you guys would know, yes, I think Bellevue is in New York. I feel like that's right. I don't know. Maybe it's in Ohio, because when I Google Bellevue Hospital, it says in Ohio.
But this is a well-known psychiatric facility.
Yeah, there is a Bellevue Hospital in New York. I think because of our location, it is automatically sticking me to something that is closer.
Yeah.
Yes. Bellevue Hospital is the oldest public hospital in the United States in New York. It opened March 31st, 1736.
Jesus.
I think, as I recall...
I mean, Central State opened in 1848, so in Indianapolis.
Yes, no, I checked myself into Bellevue. Like I said, 1952, roughly. I mean, it's not Bellevue. I mean, I get that, but it was Bellevue.
And you've never left. So that's why it's Bellevue to you.
Well, I'm not entirely delusional.
Yeah, so I don't know if this will throw a wrinkle in your brain, but again, we know this place as the Dorchester House, which is in Boston.
Yes,
check.
I've heard some of them talk about Dorchester. I think at times this might have also been Dorchester. Maybe.
Some of them who are here now.
And he kind of indicates a few of the folks.
So do you have a guess as to where we are?
Well, I mean, I've read it. I assume you have too. It's kind of obvious, right?
Reginald, I'll turn to...
No, that's why I'm asking the question.
You should look out the window.
No, I want to follow this one.
Just eventually.
I want to hear somebody else say it. So yeah,
There's a guy over there who'll say it to you.
I mean, you don't know where you are.
I'm just trying to confirm, right?
Yeah.
Second opinion and all.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it goes by many names, but I would say that it's best described as Carcosa.
My life.
I'll point
So
to the window.
are you eating the bug or not? She says, looking at you.
I'll watch you do it first.
Oh, one of those, huh? I hate to waste them.
Well, you've been looking for them. Is it really a waste?
You're lucky you're good looking.
I got it pretty high up.
She sort of picks one up and kind of looks at it. She's like, now, you're not one of those who would take advantage of a pretty young thing, would you?
No, ma'am.
Better not be. I can take care of myself. And you see her kind of look at it. It seems to be moving more slowly. Now, if you're squeamish about eating them live, there are other ways to prepare, but I mean, finding the plant is better, but these things have a little bit.
Plant?
Yeah, they feed off of a plant. That's what. Anyway, you see her. Cheers. And you see her put it in her mouth, and you see her sort of. You see her the tongue move inside her cheeks as she swallows. You see her kind of shiver. She kind of just goes real still for 30 or 45 seconds without saying anything. Almost better than sex. She opens her eyes and looks at you. Almost.
Are her eyes like dilated, like wigged out? She clearly look high.
They're not incredibly dilated, but she does kind of look a bit euphoric.
I'll grab a bug.
All right. What would you like to do with said bug?
Put it in my palm, just kind of watch it crawl a little bit.
It's almost like it's cold or something. It's like and you can notice now, before they were buzzing, and now they're kind of like, they're moving less actively.
I just say, you're not the kind of girl to take advantage of a good-looking guy, are you?
Absolutely.
Well played. I eat the bug.
Sandroll.
Fair. What's my saying at right now?
Success.
Adrian, it's as if you are suddenly dunked in ice cold water. You feel your body just immediate feverish shivers. You're hot and cold at the same time. And you suddenly have a vision of an auditorium it's an opera house. It's a theatrical space. You can see seats and blood red liquid in those seats, but those seats, the blood red liquid is defying gravity. It's floating up from the seats, and there's a stage, and but it's empty. But no, wait, there's a child's toy or a doll sitting in the middle of the stage, and then all of a sudden you feel like you get slapped in the face, and you're tense and you're shaking. So better or worse than sex?
Definitely a hell of a rush.
The two of you.
I'm really interested about your history and what you were doing that made you come here. I mean, 1952 was a weird time.
No, I just happened to come across the text.
Who were you working for at the time?
Your friend Winston, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a undisclosed hush elbow nudging wiggle waggle flim flam stuff, right?
Sure.
Similar. It was in the war.
During the war. And you found it hold on. Gotta consult the moleskin.
Sucks when they all start flowing together, doesn't it? You're like, wait a second. Does this...
There's not you don't have a name of like who you were working for, a division,
it was a
company,
no, it was
a program,
let's say.
Were you in Paris at the time?
Why do you ask that?
I'm just wondering. I read my history books.
I'm beginning to think that we might have a lot in common.
I think so, Leland. I think so.
What Sally was in.
Do you know Mosby?
Heard of him.
Ted Mosby?
Quiet now, Reginald. We're on to something. So how much your mother out in 2015?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that referee, yeah.
I put the pieces together.
And how is Mosby involved in this?
Well, Mosby wrote the file.
Mosby wrote the file.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to that file.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So he's gathered a lot of intel, a lot of data from a lot of different people.
Well, I mean, he didn't write the whole file.
Oh, that's what you said.
Well, you have to understand that it's...
Make up your damn mind.
It was a forgotten document. I just sort of came along and put the pieces together after he disappeared.
Mosby disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
When was that? Do your scrolling, Grady. Go for it.
The year before, 51.
Was he in the program too?
Yeah. He went on vacation and never came back.
Know where he was going?
There are rumors, but no. Some think he went to court. I don't know the truth of that. That may just be
like court, and I like mimic a gavel or court. No,
you know.
I'll put my hand over my face like a mask.
Yeah.
When I've heard Mosby mentioned, it sounded like he was crossing and escorting people places. Have you heard of him crossing over with people, making journeys?
Oh, no, that's I mean, if you're here because they're still around.
Because who's still around?
Them. You're Winston.
I mean, I look around the program. We can say it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was called the program when he,
Well,
was
he
in
said
there.
program.
He said
He
a
agreed that it
program.
was a
And
program.
I said, yeah, the program. So I thought we established that as common parlance. Let's call it the program.
I mean, sure, there's still no guarantee that your program is my program.
Fair.
It didn't go by the program, that's for sure.
Call it Delta Green. See what he says.
And Mosby, you haven't heard from Mosby about Mosby.
Oh, no, I know where Mosby is. He's, well, you have two choices before you. You could stay here with me, or you can travel. That's the solution. Mosby knew that. You have to go deeper. He knew that. Once it gets your hooks into you, he went in. I didn't. That was my mistake. And now I'm paying for it in this place. Because once it has its hooks in you, you can't go anywhere or do anything. You can't escape it. You can't outweight it. Your only option is to go deeper. See, that's the thing. Mosby wrote the file, compiled it. I read the play and realized that that's what the file was. I realized that they should be connected. But by that time, Mosby had already gone in. He'd already gone deeper. He may have gone to the court. I don't know where he ended up. I hope you gentlemen don't make the same mistake I made.
Well, are you saying it's too late for you?
I would presume so, yes.
Have you ever tried to go back, not forward?
There are a lot of secrets this place will hold for you. I don't know that you know everything that's going on, and I don't either, so I can only help so much.
I do not doubt you at all.
You've got to find a way to go deeper if you plan to leave. I believe you prefer to call it the Dorchester House?
Right, but if we can leave the Dorchester House, then why can't you?
There's a reason I stopped counting time in 1980 or so, 81. Lucas, she's sort of taking her soft hand and kind of caressing your face. Better?
Much?
Did you see anything?
Yes. Did you?
Oh, yeah. I'm a little more used to it. Not as good as finding the plant. I mean, if you'd like to run off with me, we can try and find the plant itself. It's much better.
What did you see?
What did you see?
I asked you first.
Yes, but you're the first person I've seen in a long time try it, and sometimes those first visions can be more insightful.
Fine. I explained to her what I saw. A theater, blood and seats, cold, shivers, strangeness.
Your future. That's what you saw.
Don't like that at all.
Well, it helps in this place a little. Makes things a little more easy to understand. Processing it differently helps you process the visions differently. So,
this place.
Yes.
What exactly is this place?
It's the real world. Welcome to the real world.
I beg to differ.
You just got red pilled.
It's where 7 strangers.
In 10 years, we're going to do a challenge against some other people who were just on the road.
But yeah, no.
I look out the window.
You see a dark night sky.
Why is it so dark out there?
It's night. Probably nearly midnight.
There's no cityscape. No one stays up late at night.
Not here. It's been one long night.
It's the last time you slept.
Who sleeps these days?
I love sleep.
Sort of gives you a sidelong glance. I don't know you that well.
Not what I was getting at.
You could try and go to sleep, but something tells me Dr. Friend will be along before too long. We should probably get back to the common room.
Does my garb have a pocket?
Yeah.
I scoop a couple bugs in a pocket.
You notice they seem to be disappearing. Maybe a Dex by 5 roll.
Dex by 5. So what did I say? 70. Oh, absolutely. Another ot 5.
All right. Yeah. You snag one. Put it in your pocket.
Cool. Whether it disappears or not, who knows? We'll find out. I look at her and say, snack for later.
Bless you.
Okay. She sort of looks at you. Be careful with that.
Sure.
Do you like to live dangerously?
Yeah, do you?
It's very attractive. Come on, let's go. She kind of grabs your hand and starts dragging you down one of the hallways.
We should be married by morning. Sorry.
The two of you. So, that's what I can offer you anyway.
How do you suggest we go deeper?
If I knew that, I might have tried it once or twice.
So you just didn't know. You had no one to help you? Mosby wouldn't help you?
Mosby was long gone. I don't know if Mosby was ever here. He again kind of indicates with great sweeping motions kind of the floor around him, per se.
So you said we're in Carcosa, but you seem to be talking about here and Carcosa as two different things.
It's all one and the same, mostly.
Is this kind of like a purgatory?
As much as anything else, I suppose.
That's not helpful.
You got your clue, damn it, be happy with it.
No, he gave us a lot.
I mean, having never read it, you wouldn't know what Carcosa is, right? So it's a legit
We
question.
encountered somewhere Carcosa.
Unless it was on the postcard, maybe? Was it on the postcard? I don't remember if the name was on the postcard. It just said we arrived here, Abigail's with us or something like that. But I don't remember specifically.
One of the... it wasn't the watch.
None of us have actually cracked open the book and read it. We read a title, like at the spine or something, and that was about
Sam
it.
did.
Oh, well.
And if they know, we know.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Sam
I
read
suppose that's fair
a
then.
lot of it.
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Along
Okay.
the shore, the cloud waves break. The twin suns behind the lake. The shadows lengthen in Carcosa.
Gotcha.
That was... Oh, yeah. That was when Sam was just reading the book.
Lucas, give me a die roll.
Any die?
D100.
Oh, okay.
Preferably.
Ask him.
D4.
That is a 54.
You suddenly... No, you don't. Hold that roll. Thanks.
Tighter.
Nope. I'm trying to give you either a benefit or a detraction, and I realize that I can't do it. But I want to remember that you rolled a 54.
Okay.
Yes. So
When I put it down, it was a 09.
okay, keep that in mind. Save that one too. Just hold all the dice. Come back to the room. As they sit there and stare off into the distance, Lucas, you can come back if you want.
All right. I come back holding hands with a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Where did you go?
I just down the hall, checking it out.
I'll look at the woman.
She smiles. She's kind of got her arm linked with Adrian. Kind of smiles and puts her head lightly on his shoulder very playfully.
This is Deborah.
Deborah Carver. She extends a hand.
Oh. Shake, shake. Charmed.
So what'd you find besides Deborah?
Oh, nothing to bug you about.
Okay.
But
I'll tell you later.
Great.
What did you find out?
Maybe we should have a team meeting.
Our title track and additional musical arrangements were provided by friend of the podcast, Ian Shannon. Find more of his work at sleepfortheweary.com. Like what you heard? Check out more episodes online at rancorsbrothel.com or the Rancors Brothel on Facebook. You can also interact with other listeners at the Fans of the Rancors Brothel Facebook page. Want to contact us? Reach out to @Rancors_Brothel on Twitter or via email at therancorsbrothel@gmail.com. Most of all, keep circulating the tapes. Much love, everyone.